Hey, what's up everyone? It's your girl Brain Shanae, and today is the 22nd day of Vlogmas. So what I'll be doing with you is I'll be sharing the last and final book haul of 2020. So if you want to know what books that I received in December, please stay tuned. And I am back, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. So like I said before, I'll be sharing with you my last and final book haul of the year. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So for the first two books, I got this from a book swap that I did with a few of amazing people, which I will link down below if you want to check out their channels. But I received these books from Tara, Reading with Tara. So if you want to check out her channel, I suggest you do so because she does great reviews, and I just love her channel overall. So the books that I received, or the first one I received, is the Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. So I had this on my wish list, and I was curious about this book. I kept hearing about it on BookTube and Twitter, Instagram, so I wanted to get it myself. So I thought the paperback cover looked pretty cool and beautiful, as the hardcovers are beautiful as well, but I thought the paperback would just be something that I would love to be on my bookshelves. So I got this first book of the Poppy War, and for the synopsis it says, peasant, student, soldier, goddess. When war orphan Ren aced the Kaiju, the empire-wide test to find the most talented youth to learn at the academies, she surprised everyone, test officials, the guardians who wanted to marry her off and further their criminal enterprise, and even herself. But being a dark-skinned peasant girl from the south is not easy at Seingard, the most elite military school in Nikon. Targeted by rival classmates for her color, poverty, and gender, Ren discovers that gods long thought dead are very much alive, and that she possesses a lethal, unearthly power, an aptitude for the nearly mythical art of shamanism that could be the weapon the Empire desperately needs. While Nikara is at peace, its enemy and former occupiers, the Federation of Mugen, binds its time, and a third Poppy War is just a spark away. Ren's shamanic powers may be the only way to save her people, yet as she discovers more about the god that has chosen her, the vengeful phoenix, she fears that winning the way may cost her humanity, and it may already be too late. So this sounds very interesting. I love everything with gods and goddesses. Also with a girl who's pretty much in poverty. She's dark skinned too, so she's pretty much being judged based off the color of her skin and her complexion. So I thought this would be a really cool book to read in 2021. But if you are watching this, Tara, thank you so much for these books. I really do love them, and I cannot wait to jump in and read them. And so the second book that I got from Tara is the second book of the Poppy War, which is The Dragon Republic. So I got this one. I just love this blue so much. Like, I'm a blue person. Blue's my favorite color, so this works for me. So for this book, it says, Ren's story continues in this acclaimed sequel to The Poppy War, an epic fantasy combining the history of 20th century China with the gripping world of gods and monsters. And so for the synopsis, it says, the war is over. The war has just begun. 3 times throughout its history, Nikon has fought for its survival in the bloody Poppy Wars. Though the third battle has just ended, shaman and warrior Ren cannot forget the atrocity she committed to save her people. Now she is on the run from her guilt, the opium addiction that holds her like a vice, and the murderous commands of the fiery phoenix, the vengeful god who has blessed Ren with her fearsome power. Though she does not want to live, she refuses to die until she avenges the treacherous empress who betrayed Ren's homeland to its enemies. Ren's only hope is to join forces with the powerful dragon warlord, who plots to conquer Nikon, unseat the empress, and create a new republic. But the empress and the dragon warlord are not what they seem. The more Ren witnesses, the more she fears her love for Nikon will force her to use the phoenix's deadly power once more. Because there is nothing Ren won't sacrifice to save her country and exact her vengeance. So it sounds like there's some love affair, some romance as well in this series, which I cannot wait to read this. But I know the third book just came out. I don't know what it's called, so I gotta catch up. But like I said, Tara, thank you so much for these books. They sound amazing. I'm glad I had them on my wish list because I don't know. I just want to know what the rave is about this series. So yeah, so I got these two books from the Christmas book swap. This next book I had requested, and I was able to get an ARC for this book that I believe comes out in February, and that is Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. I saw this on Twitter and I was like, you know what, this sounds very something up my alley. Like, this book sounds very amazing and intriguing. So I requested it and I was able to get this. And this book, it says it's going to be released on February the 23rd of next year. So February the 23rd. So if you're interested in this book, I suggest you pre-order it or just get it when it releases. But for the synopsis, it says, a refreshingly timely and relatable debut novel about a young woman whose life plans fall apart when she meets her wife. So it says, with her newly completed PhD in astronomy in hand, Grace Porter goes on a girls' trip to Vegas to celebrate. She's a straight A, working through the summer, certified high achiever. She's not the kind of person who goes to Vegas and gets drunkenly married to a woman whose name she doesn't know, until she does exactly that. This one moment of departure from her stern ex-military father's plans for her life has Grace wondering why she doesn't feel more fulfilled from completing her degree. Staggering under the weight of her parents' expectations, a struggling job market, and feelings of burnout, Grace flees her home in Portland for a summer in New York with the wife she barely knows. In New York, she's able to ignore all the constant questions about her future plans and falls hard for her creative and beautiful wife, Yuki Yamamoto. But when reality comes crashing in, Grace must face what she's been running from all along. The fears that make us human, the family scars that need to heal, and the longing for connection, especially when navigating the messiness of adulthood. So like I said, this sounds something up my alley. It's a queer read, which I definitely love diverse books, and also books having that representation of the LGBT plus community. So I really am looking forward to reading this. I probably will be reading this in February, since it's going to be coming out in February. So I thought that'd be something cool to read before it releases on February the 23rd. So I received this book. Next book, I had one from a giveaway or a raffle, and that is A Spy in the Struggle, and this is by Aya de Leon. I love the cover. As you can see right here, you have people protesting. You can tell that it's going to be, the location is California. So we have this. And so for this synopsis, it says, since childhood, Yolanda Vance has forged her desire to escape poverty into a laser-like focus that took her through prep school and Harvard Law. So when her prestigious New York law firm is raided by the FBI, Yolanda turns in her corrupt bosses to save her career and goes to work for the Bureau. Soon she's sent undercover at Red, Black, and Green, an African-American extremist activist group back in her California college town. They claim a biotech corporation fueled by Pentagon funding is exploiting the neighborhood. But Yolanda is determined to put this assignment in her win column, head back to corporate law, and regain her comfortable life. Until an unexpected romance opens her heart and a suspicious death opens her eyes. Menacing dark money forces will do anything to bury Yolanda and the movement. Fueled by memories of who she once was and what once really mattered most, how can she tell those who come to trust her that she's been spying? As the stakes escalate and one misstep could cost her life, Yolanda will have to choose between betraying the cause of her people or invoking the wrath of the country's most powerful law enforcement agency. So it pretty much sounds like she's like a whistleblower. She pretty much is like trying to snitch on them pretty much in this organization, but then she falls in love with someone, and then there's this mysterious death that has come to play. So this sounds very interesting. I do plan on reading this. I just don't know when, but I don't know. I think I might read it in February. So this might be another a book that I might read in February. I'm gonna have a lot of books I'll be reading in February, actually. But this sounds very great and very interesting, so I cannot wait to read this. But I definitely received this from a raffle that I entered on Twitter, I think, or it was one of those websites. I think it was Twitter, but I'm not really sure. But I received this as well. And the next book, I had won this off of a giveaway on Instagram from India, who's also a booktuber and became an author, I believe, last year. And this is her debut book, and that is The Forgotten Girl by India Hill Brown. So obviously, love the cover. It's gorgeous. I love the little girl on the cover. Just beautiful. And then for the synopsis, let's see. It says, do you know what it feels like to be forgotten? On a cold winter night, Iris and her best friend, Daniel, sneak into the woods to to play in the freshly fallen snow. There, Iris makes a perfect snow angel, only to find the crumbling gravestone of a young girl named Avery Moore right beneath her. Soon, strange things start to happen to Iris. She begins having vivid nightmares. She thinks she sees the shadow of a girl lurking in the night, and she feels the pull of the abandoned grave calling her back to the woods. Obsessed with figuring out what's going on, Iris and Daniel start to research their town. They discover that Avery's grave is actually part of an abandoned black cemetery, dating back to a time when white and black people were kept separate in life and in death. They become determined to restore Avery's grave and have proper respect finally paid to Avery and the others buried there. But they have summoned a jealous and demanding ghost, one who's not satisfied with their plans, one who is tired of being overlooked and who wants Iris to be her best friend forever, no matter the cost. So this is, I believe this is a middle grade, and I'm looking forward to know more about Iris and her friend Daniel, especially with the cemetery that they find. So I'm very interested in reading this. This sounds definitely like a wintry read. So who knows? I might just read it in January. So I received this book in a giveaway on Instagram. Next book, I just received this in a Fave Crate unboxing that I did just yesterday. So I won't do the synopsis with you, but it is The Key to Fear by Kristen Cast. So this book is pretty much dealing with a pandemic or a virus that's going on. Like the movie Contagion, pretty much, but with this one, no one can touch no one, not even your husband. No one can be touched because that's how the virus is transferred. So yeah, this book is definitely interesting. I don't know when I'm going to read this because technically we are in reality in a crisis with the pandemic, and I definitely don't want to read something about a pandemic because I want to be out of my own reality as far as people dying and stuff, and constantly are in need of assistance, food assistance, rental assistance, any type of assistance they can get. So I don't know when I'm going to be reading this or have the mindset to read it, but down the line in the future I'll definitely read it, but just not yet. So for this book, this is the Crate exclusive that I received in a box, and that is Among the Beasts and Briars by Ashley Poston. Now I have not read any books by Ashley Poston. I know she did like Geekerella, all the Beauty and the Beast books and stuff like that, which I haven't read, but maybe this will be the first book that I read by her. So for this book, it says Ceres is safe in the kingdom of Illyria. Here there are no droughts, disease, or famine, and peace is everlasting. It has been this way for hundreds of years, since the first king made a bargain with the lady who ruled the forest that borders the kingdom. But as Illyria prospered, the woods grew dark, cursed, and forbidden. Ceres knows this all too well. When she was young, she barely escaped as the woods killed her friends and her mother. Now Ceres carries a small bit of the curse, the magic, in her blood, a reminder of the day she lost everything. As a new queen is crowned, however, things long hidden in the woods descend on the kingdom itself. Ceres is forced on the run. Her only companions, a small and irritating fox from the royal garden, and the magic in her veins. It's up to her to find the legendary Lady of the Wilds and beg for a way to save her home. But the road is darker and more dangerous than she knows, and as secrets from the past are uncovered amid the teeth and roots of the forest, it's going to take everything she has to survive. So this sounds really interesting. I definitely look forward to reading this, especially when it comes like she has a friend, a fox, pretty much, an animal friend, which I think that's pretty cute. Like back in the day when you're like watching Disney movies, like, oh, I want an animal friend. So I thought that idea was just really cute of her having a fox as an animal friend. But I received this in the Crate box, so I got this. Next book, I won this from, I believe it's either Instagram or Twitter for the giveaway, and this book comes out in January, and that is Wings of Ebony by JL. Looking forward to reading this because this is pretty much dealing with Rue, and people are pretty much saying, oh, Rue from Hunger Games. And so this compelled me, just like the book itself, the cover, and also that it's a girl whose name is Rue, and she's also half human, half god or goddess. So that definitely enthralled me to wanting to read this book, which I definitely will be reading this book in January. And so for the synopsis, it says, Rue's family is her whole life, but her world is upended when the unthinkable happens. Her mom is murdered, and Rue is snatched away by a father she never knew and forced to live at his home in Gazan, a secret country of gods who wield a powerful magic. In Gazan, Ru's existence is a crime. There's never been a half-god, half-human there, where leaders protect their magical powers at all costs. Miserable and desperate to see her sister, Tasha, on the anniversary of their mother's death, Ru breaks Gazan's sacred do not leave law and returns to Houston, only to discover black kids are being forced into crime and violence, and Tasha is in danger of falling sway to the very forces that claim their mother's life. Worse still, evidence mounts that the evil plaguing East Row is the same one that lurks in Gazan, an evil that will stop at nothing until it has stolen everything from her. Ru must embrace her true identity and wield the full magnitude of her ancestors' power to save her hood before the gods burn it to the ground. But how can she pull it off when the enemy is everywhere? So this is something I cannot wait for to read. So like I said, I'll be reading this, of course, the beginning of the year of 2020 in January. So I definitely look forward to reading this, and it's definitely one of my highly anticipated reads of 2021. So I received this book as well from a giveaway. Next book, I got this from an Illumicrate unboxing. This was in a special edition, and that is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. This is pretty much the exclusive. I know that they have the paperback versions that just came out and have been released. So this is the hardcover version. So as you can see, the blue sprayed edges and everything like that. And also, if you take the dust jacket off, it looks so beautiful. I just love this. It says, she had been innocent once, a little girl playing with the feathers on the floor of a devil's lair. She wasn't innocent now. And of course, it has the reverse dust jacket as well. But let me read the synopsis for you all, just in case if you may be interested in reading this, because I'm definitely excited to read this. So it says, 17-year-old Carew is a secret even to herself, plagued by the sensation that she isn't whole. Raised half in the human world and half in elsewhere, where she acts as errand girl to the shadowy brimstone, Carew has always known she must keep her two lives in balance. She has never understood the dark work of the monstrous creature who is the closest thing she has to family, nor how she came to be in his employ. But now the doors to elsewhere are closing, and Carew must choose between the safety of her human life and the dangers of a war-ravaged world that may hold the secrets or the answers she has always sought. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. I know I had also ordered the special editions of this series, the next two books, the hardcover books that goes along with this one. I think I'll be getting those sometime in April next year, but we'll see. But yeah, so I also got this from the Illumicrate special edition box. So here's this one. This next book is also an exclusive, and this is the Fairy Loot edition, and that is These Violent Delights by Chloe Kong. So as you can see, this is an exclusive cover with the pink sprayed edges. So yeah, so it says, even on the back, it says, the year is 1926 and Shanghai hums to the tune of debauchery. So I got this as well. I definitely want to read this because this is like a Romeo and Juliet retelling. So this is something right up my alley. I love Romeo and Juliet. I love the story. I think it's just awesome. So for this book, this is, of course, located in Shanghai. And it says, the year is 1926 and Shanghai hums to the tune of debauchery. A blood feud between two gangs runs the streets red, leaving the city in chaos. At the heart of it is 18-year-old Juliet Kai, a former flapper who has returned to assume her role as the proud heir of the Scarlet Gang, a network of criminals far above the law. Their only rivals in power are the White Flowers, who have fought the Scarlets for generations. And behind every move is their heir, Roma Montagov, Juliet's first love and first betrayal. But when gangsters on both sides show signs of instability, culminating in clawing their own throats out, the people start to whisper of a contagion, a madness, of a monster in the shadows. As the deaths stack up, Juliet and Roma must set their guns and grudges aside and work together. For if they can't stop this mayhem, then there will be no city left for either to rule. And so it says, perfect for fans of the City of Brass and Descendant of the Crane. This heart-stopping debut is an imaginative Romeo and Juliet retelling set in 1920s Shanghai with rival gangs and a monster in the depths of the Hanggupu River. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. To be honest, I just love retellings in general. I think just retellings of of any type of like Romeo and Juliet, Cinderella, anything like that, I'm all for retelling. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this as well. And the last and final book that I received in December this year this is from the book of the month, and that is This Close to Okay by Lisa Cross Smith. This is an early release that the book of the month did. I believe this comes out actually in January, but I just love the cover. I was very intrigued. I was thinking that was like a romance, but you know, I think it has a little bit of romance, but not as much. So let me read the synopsis for you for this book as well. So it says, a powerful, vibrant novel about the life-changing weekend shared between two strangers. On a rainy October night in Kentucky, recently divorced therapist Tally Clark is on her way home from work when she stops a man precariously standing at the edge of a bridge. Without a second thought, Tally pulls over and jumps out of the car into the pouring rain. She convinces the man to join her for a cup of coffee, and he eventually agrees to come back to her house, where he finally shares his name, Emmett. Over the course of the emotionally charged weekend that follows, Tally makes it her mission to provide a safe space for Emmett, though she hesitates to confess that this is also her day job. What she doesn't realize is that Emmett isn't the only one who needs healing, and they both are harboring secrets. Alternating between Tally's and Emmett's perspectives as they inch closer to the truth of what brought Emmett to the bridge edge, as well as the hard truth Tally has been grappling with since her marriage ended, This Close to Okay is an uplifting, cathartic story about chance encounters, hope found in unlikely moments, and the subtle magic of human connection. So I really cannot wait to read this. It sounds very interesting. I feel like with Tally and Emmett, they're connected in a way, like how pretty much the world, every human or something is connected in a way based on someone's actions or what they did that day, you know. So it's a coincidence as well. So I feel like Tally found Emmett on the bridge, of the edge of a bridge, for a reason. So I cannot wait to read this as well. I was trying to read it this month, but I don't know if I'll be able to, because I already have plans on what I want to read and the books I want to read in order to finish and pretty much conquer my reading goals on Goodreads. So that is it. That was the last book right here that I received in December. But there you go, you guys. Those are all the books that I pretty much acquired in December. I really hope you enjoyed this last book haul of mine of the year. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also, hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you so much for watching, you guys. And please stay healthy and stay safe. See ya!